Being governor of Virgin Islands is fantastic. The way I guess my perspective on things is like there's an opportunity to do so much every day. I've often said that my favorite thing to do in the world is crossword puzzles. So I do the New York Times Sunday puzzle all the time. So it's kind of figuring out things is what I'm good at. I think that's a strength for me. So every day I wake up, and go to work. There's different problems and different opportunities to work on. And I try to remind myself all the time that there will always be problems, but there won't always be opportunities. So we have to put the opportunities first and really work to get some of those solved. People need to go and look at the schools because I've actually visited several schools since being governor. One of the things that I must note is that the modulars are working out really well. I mean, the facilities are temporary, but the facilities are 10 times better than anything we've had in the Virgin Islands for a number of years. We just finished looking at the standards. So one of the things that people need to understand is that Congress just passed a measure that said that FEMA now has to build back everything to the industry standard if it's more than 50% damage. So what that has forced us to do now is we have to go back and establish industry standards for all of our construction projects, roads, public facilities, schools, hospitals. We just submitted the the standards for schools that FEMA is reviewing now. Once that is done, then we could start to look at rebuilding the schools to those standards. It's going to be a lengthy process, as is everything with the federal government, but we're forging ahead to make sure that we do it as quickly as possible. I really applaud the commissioner for doing that as a first step. I was at Central High and complex graduation, and at first I was a little shocked that everybody in the graduation felt fit in Central in the temporary gymnasium that they have. And the principal, told me, he said, we used to have 1,200 students in the schools. Now there are 800. Only 161 students graduated this year. Elena Christian, which was a driving high school in St. Croix, only had 200 students last year. So our school population is severely shrunk. Now people are like, well, the economy is going to grow back and we're going to have more students coming in. Maybe. So when we're building new schools, we'll keep that in mind. So we're not saying that the schools that have been consolidated, that is the permanent footprint. That is the footprint that we're working with now. When we start to build out, we have to look at what type of school population, because millennials aren't making a lot of children either. That's one of the concerns with this generation. So moving forward, we just may be dealing with a lower number of children. At the same time, I'm very cognizant and aware, and people don't talk about the problems that are created when uh, construction booms or economic booms hit territories. The last time we saw this was in the 70s. We tripled our population. So and that has created the problems that we still face today. The problems with the sewage, the problems with the hospitals, the problem with the expansion of households and homes being very expensive. The power plant. People remember Unit 13 in the 70s in St. Thomas. Um, we just didn't have the capacity to take on the population boom that the 70s created. Split sessions, that's a thing of the past 30, 40 years ago. But it may come back because now that we have new piers being built, new schools, refurbishing of the hospitals, we expect to see more and more immigrants come to the Virgin Islands.